Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to this week's Everton Show. It's been a pretty impressive couple of weeks, hasn't it? 3 consecutive 3-0 wins have been just the tonic we needed after a slight blip. The good ship Everton, though, is certainly sailing through calmer waters now, and there's very much a feeling that we're primed and ready for a genuine assault on the European places. Ian Snowden's alongside me this week. It's happy days, Snods.
It's great. Everybody's smiling at the minute. I'm sure the fans are happy. 9 goals scored, none against. 2 victories and an FA Cup victory as well, so everything's rosy at the minute.
How important is it to the players that there is a feel-good factor about Goodison Park?
Yeah, it's great because they'll go in now, into training, the place will be bubbling, they'll be having a laugh, they'll want to get in early to have a laugh and leave late as well. So it's great when you're winning games. There's no better place than the training ground. It's important, that, isn't it? You've got to have that banter. Yeah, you have, and between the management staff, the coaching staff and the players, I'm sure the banter will be flying around, and it's great as a team to win games. Great place to be, Finch Farm, just now. Plenty more conversation with Snods to come, and as usual, we've got an eclectic mix of interviews for you to enjoy on this week's programme.
What's important, I think most, the 3 goals are great, but keeping back-to-back clean sheets are very important because that's what our downfall has been recently. We've always been alright going up the other end, but we showed that we're resilient now at the back.
The winner of the goal of January, a very special young man, George.
And even when I signed with Norwich, the amount of text messages I got and well wishes, and it wasn't just a simple good luck. There was a nice message in them all.
I think it's important to teach the kids about different heritages and about discrimination as well. And I think they got the message really clearly, and they had fun as well. So it's all good.
Snods, we'll start off talking about the Stoke City game and 3-0, great win, and it was done and dusted by half-time, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't down there. Yourself and Diamond were down there commentating and co-commentating, and I was listening to you, and it sounded fantastic. To be 3-0 up at the Britannia is a great feat, but then to keep a clean sheet, we could have won more, Daz. We could have been a 5 or 6 touch. All right, Stoke are not playing brilliantly at the minute, but it's a very, very difficult place to go. So it's a pleasing performance.
And the conditions didn't help either, did they?
They never do. I didn't enjoy playing at Stoke at best of times, to be honest. So overall, great performance.
Great performance and a great victory. And the Britannia Stadium, of course, isn't the easiest of venues for opposing teams, even when the sun is cracking the flags in the middle of August. Although I do find it difficult to imagine the good city of Stoke basking in sunlight. So to go there when the rain is lashing and the wind is storm-like is challenging to say the least, but Everton simply blew the hosts away. Here's what Roberto made of a thoroughly comprehensive 3-0 win.
We all know how well we've done this season in getting leads, and whatever we've been, we always start the games well, and I think today wasn't anything different. I think the pleasing aspect today is that we made it a complete performance over the 95 minutes, is that we got the one goal lead. After that we followed with a very good, strong performance defensively. I thought as a team we look always in control, we had a very good shape, and then is wanting that 3rd goal, keeping a clean sheet, and probably in the second half the amount of clear-cut opportunities that we created, it could have been a bigger scoreline. You have to give credit at times to the opposing goalkeeper. I thought Budland had 3 or 4 moments of an incredible quality, but the way we managed the game was very pleasing. I think it shows you first that we're learning all the time, that we want to get better, and we got stronger out of the painful lessons that we had this season. And the other very important point is that the squad that we have is giving us that competition for places, gives you the opportunity to have players in good moments of form. I think Aaron Lennon at the moment is setting real standards in our side. He's giving us a very strong balance and is clinical in front of goal. Players coming back from injury. Tom Cleverley is such an influential footballer for the way that we want to play. James McCarthy with his strong partnership with Gareth Barry. Phil Jagielka going back to his strongest leadership role in that side. I think all in all is a team that is growing all the time, that we're learning from our lessons, but we're looking forward now to make sure that we carry on with this level until the end of the season.
There's a real feeling that we've got a terrifically strong platform with which to build a very strong finish to the season.
We have, and I think obviously we got another very important game against West Brom at home, and we got 6 fixtures at Goodison that we want to make sure that we take advantage of it. I think the fans were once more unbelievable today. Away from home, it's always been a really backbone of our performances. We're gonna make sure that our crowd at Goodison is proud of our efforts, is proud of the talent that we have in the team, and we can show them that we can win consistently. And I think it's a really good target to have. But we're looking forward to the final 13 games of the season. There's many points to fight for, and we're gonna make sure we give everything we've got to achieve that. And we can show that the hunger is there, that we want to become a winning team, and we're going to carry on working hard to learn from every single game that we are involved in.
There's a television advert, isn't it, that suggests if a certain well-known beer company was to plan the events in your life, then they'd go just about perfectly. Well, somebody, somewhere, certainly planned a very special 24 hours for Seamus Coleman last weekend. The Irishman celebrated the birth of his baby girl with his first goal of the season. Just about perfect.
I've had a very interesting 24 hours and very special 24 hours. My wife gave birth to a baby yesterday just before 2 o'clock, Lily Coleman, so there's no secret who that was dedicated to today.
It was written in the stars, wasn't it, that you'd open your account this afternoon?
Yeah, it's funny how these things happen. They've happened to numerous players, and you just get that feeling that you are going to score the goal. And you know, it was great. You know, seeing what my wife went through yesterday and how proud I am of her. You know, to go out on the pitch, you have to enjoy them moments, and to score the goal as well was special. So it was a very special 24 hours.
And it was a good goal as well.
Yeah, it was, yeah. It's only been the last couple of weeks that they've let me go up for corners, and I've missed a sitter going up against Swansea, so I thought I wouldn't be allowed back up after that, but obviously seen I got a bit of space at the back post that day, and you know, they've trusted me to get up for corners, and I'd say I might be up for the next one.
Tough place to come, this, the Britannia Stadium, but this was all done and dusted really by half-time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great first half performance by the lads. I thought defensively at the back we were very solid, which is you have to be when you come places like Stoke, because if you give them anything, their fans are right behind them, and it can be nervous half then. But you know, we took our goals brilliantly. You know, cleverly done brilliant for Rom's goal, and you always trust Rom to finish it. And then Aaron Lennon had a very difficult chance. Some people might think it's easy, but when you've got from the halfway to the goalkeeper to think about what you're going to do, he knew from there he was in one-on-one, and he kept his composure. And you know, Aaron Lennon was brilliant again today, and when he works that hard, it makes it easier for us.
At this level of the game, when you do get an opportunity in the first team, you've got to take it with both hands, and Aaron Lennon has certainly done that and more.
Yeah, look, we're blessed with wingers. You know, you got Kev, Jerry, Azza, and you know, Jerry's been brilliant as well. But you know, when Azza's come into the team, he's took his chance, and you know, all the lads love him in there. He's a great lad, and you know, I'm sure the fans more than anything adore his work rate, and thankfully with that work rate, he's paying off with some goals. But you know, we're blessed with wingers, and we're lucky to have so many good wingers at the club.
2 games, 6 goals, 2 clean sheets. The confidence in that dressing room that you've just left there, Seamus, must be sky high.
It is definitely. What's important, I think, most, you know, the 3 goals are great, but keeping back-to-back clean sheets are very important, because that's what our downfall has been recently. We've always been alright going up the other end, but you know, we showed that we're resilient now at the back, and long may that continue.
What's the feeling like amongst the lads? Is it really that we can push on now and have a really strong ending to the season?
Definitely, that's the feeling. We've had a disappointing first half of the season for our standards, so I feel like we've got it right at the minute, and as I said, it's going to be a boring answer. I just want to look to the next game, but that's where we're at. But the confidence going into that next game will definitely be high.
You won't get a lie in now for about 16 years, Seamus, so enjoy tonight.
Thanks, Dad. Cheers, Dad.
It was written in the stars that Sheamus would score a goal, Snods, but it was, as we said in the interview, a right good goal.
Yeah, it was a good goal, but congratulations to Seamus and his wife Rachel on the birth of Lily. Fantastic feeling to be a father, I'm sure, for him. And the second best feeling is to score a goal. And he did that over the weekend, and great header. I just can't understand why Seamus is up there anyway for corners, but he did mention the Swansea chance at the end, which we were like having a go at him for. But no, fantastic goal, diving header. Went in there, and he's a great lad, Sheamus, and every success he gets in fatherhood and in football. I wish him all the best.
He's a great lad from a super family, and his current form probably helps him that Aaron Lennon's in front of him, because that allows Seamus to get forward a little bit more, because Seamus has got a goal in him, but he needs somebody in front of him who's going to put a shift in.
Yeah, and that's not having a go at Jerry Delafeu, because Jerry's a creative player who likes to get the ball, run at defenders. He's so many assists for Romelu that he's been great for the team. But when you're playing teams like Stoke, and they are difficult games away from home, you need somebody like Aaron Lennon in front of you as a fullback, because you know if you go on overlap to get a crossing, Aaron's going to fill in. And his defensive duties over the last few weeks, Aaron, have been fantastic.
How big a boost for the squad, for the coaching staff, for the gaffer, for everybody, is 3 consecutive clean sheets?
Yeah, it's great. We were under a bit of criticism for his goals conceding, especially at Goodison Park. So it was nice to Newcastle, no goals, and then to go away 2 games, a cup game and Stoke, no goals. Great.
Defensively solid, just what we wanted. And that brings us to the end of part 1 of this week's programme. We'll take a short break right now, and when we return we'll feature the Under-21's Premier League Cup tie with Brighton and Hove Albion earlier this week, the Under-18's demolition of Newcastle United, and an American Super Bowl-inspired keepy-up challenge. Welcome back to part 2 of this week's Everton Show. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we showed you some great footage of young George Shaw scoring at the Gladys Street end during our game against Swansea City. He became an internet sensation, and now it's gone up to another level. George's goal was voted the January Everton Goal of the Month by the supporters, and it earned him a trip to Finch Farm.
Well, obviously it's not a normal press conference. I think we got a very important announcement to make. So I would like everyone to join myself to congratulate the winner of the Goal of January, a very special young man, George. You've become a very popular man. Yeah. There we are. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We do a quick photo in the centre box. Brilliant. And George, let's see that trophy, my friend.
Who's your favourite player?
Yeah.
Is he?
Okay, man.
Big smile.
That's brilliant. And a quick look up at the cameras up above. Quick question, George. How does it feel to have won the Goal of the Month?
It's just great. See all the support I've had off my family and my friends voting for me. It was brilliant.
And what does it mean to get that trophy off Roberto as well?
It's even better because I never thought I'd get a trophy. It's just amazing having something to show to people.
You can handle the press as well, Roberto.
Yeah. George, you know, the worst bit is that you got 2 players that they are very, very upset with you now because they lost. You beat Aaron Lennon and you beat Ross Barkley, and I think they want to have a word with you afterwards upstairs. So it's great to meet you, George. Well done. Congratulations.
Snods, every week there's a lovely piece of film, and that's fantastic.
You know what, as a club, that's why we're the best as. I think it's fantastic that young George has won the goal of the month. He really come across well as well. He loved it. The players get involved. Roberto, the manager, you don't get that at another club. Fantastic.
The players were delighted, even though he pipped Ross and Aaron Lennon to the Goal of the Month. Just a quick word about Aaron. He's been terrific.
He's been great. He really has. And as we say, his form, he's in great form. He's scoring goals as well, and people are starting to mention him. Could he be a late choice for the England squad for the Euros? But if he carries on the way he is carrying on, I'm sure Roy Hodgson's got a number of players picked at this present time, but there's always 1 or 2 that come with a late surge, and hopefully Aaron could be one of them.
Took his goal against Stoke really well, didn't he?
Yeah,
because he had a long time to think about it.
Yeah, once he got forward, the keeper advanced, he just slotted it nicely and went and celebrated.
Great form, long may it continue, but it wasn't Goal of the Month, sadly. Well, if you weren't one of the 112 million worldwide viewers who watched the 50th playing of the US Super Bowl last week, I can tell you that the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers 24-10. Why do you need to know? Well, you don't really, but it's a nice link to our next piece of film. The Everton under-21 players are a skillful bunch with an English soccer ball. But how would they do if they had to keep an American football in the air? We had some fun finding out. Didn't he do well? Incidentally, Nathan Broadhead, who topped our leaderboard, was the highest scorer from footballers all over the country. Check out the YouTube channel to see more of the NFL Challenge. Well, thankfully, the lads from the 21s were back with a traditional round Casey when they took on Brighton and Hove Albion at Southport on Tuesday night in the Premier League Cup. And for our younger viewers, a Casey is a football that the likes of Snods and I would kick about in the street when we were kids until it burst or until it got an egg in it. How frustrating was that when it got an egg in it? Technically, David Unsworth's team extended their unbeaten run to 9 games against Brighton, but they bowed out of the competition on penalty kicks.
Everton under-21s were eliminated from the Premier League Cup after a dramatic penalty shootout defeat against Brighton at Southport on Tuesday evening. After total dominance in the opening period, Sam Byrne eventually got Everton's opener 5 minutes before the half-time interval. Felipe Mattioni started a sweeping counter-attacking move deep inside Everton territory, and after a driving run from Rodriguez, the Irishman made no mistake in dispatching past Albion's Christian Walton. But for all their dominance, the Toffees were handed a hammer blow in the final minute of second half added time as Dylan Barnett headed home the visitors' first genuine sight on goal of the tie to force an extra 30 minutes. The Seagulls then went on to take an unlikely lead as substitute Jack Harper found the corner of the net with a 20-yard strike. But the lead was to be short-lived, with the Blues awarded a penalty less than 4 minutes later. Captain Joe Williams stepped up to emphatically restore parity, giving Walton no chance despite the keeper guessing the right way. It meant the tie would be decided on penalties, and after Jason Malumbi and Kieran Dowell converted the first round of spot kicks, Brighton gained the upper hand when Tom Dallison scored, but Joe Williams' attempt was saved. Jack Harper and Callum Connolly both scored to make it 3-2, and Henrik Bjordal's successful attempt meant it was left to Tom Davis to keep the Toffees in the tie. Walton, however, kept the midfielder's effort out to deny the Blues a place in the quarter-finals. After coming so close to progressing, manager David Unsworth was philosophical about his side's exit following an impressive display in difficult conditions.
I thought we were terrific. I thought we were fantastic. I thought we battered them from start to finish, and we just couldn't kill them off. And you know, when you're only 1-0 up and dominated like we did, we must have had probably 75% of the ball throughout the whole game. If you don't get the second goal, they're always in with a chance, and they got that one chance, you know, their only chance in 90 minutes, and they scored from it. So extra time again, we dominated. You know, poor mistake from us at the back led to the goal, and you know, but again, shown great resilience and great character to come back, and then penalties. Well, you know, who knows who's going to win any penalty shootout? So and that's the story of the night, and unfortunately, you know, we've got beat, but we totally didn't deserve that. And you know, we some fantastic displays throughout the whole team on a very challenging surface.
Snods, before we talk about that disappointing result for the 21s, a Casey. When you had the case ball as a kid in the street, you were guaranteed a game, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm not that old to have the old laces in it, but it were a leather one, and if it had been raining as well, and your mates used to cross it in for you, used to like close your eyes and just like hit your head. But yeah, they've gone on so much, haven't they, the cases, as we say now, but they're like a beach ball now, to be quite honest.
Nathan Broadhead, 62 times he kept that American football up.
Fantastic. I couldn't do that, I swear, with a normal football. He lost control a couple of times. I thought he was going down the M57 at one stage, but no, that's great. 60, was it 62?
Yeah, 62.
62 with a rugby ball. Brilliant.
Just quickly, shame the lads went out on penalties. Technically, the unbeaten run's still going, though.
Yeah, but Unzi were delighted with them. That's the main point. He said they battered Brighton from start to finish. He was happy. That's all that cares.
Plenty more to come from the 21s, I'm sure. Well, it's been goals galore at Everton Football Club recently. The first team are scoring consistently. The 21s are as well, as we've just seen. And last weekend, the under-18s, under the supervision of John Ebrell, went to Newcastle United and won 8-0, thanks in no small part to an excellent performance and a hat-trick from Shane Lavery.
Really happy with the win because, you know, we're struggling a bit, so we're happy to get back to scoring goals and keeping clean sheets, so really happy, yeah.
And a hat-trick for yourself in an 8-0 win?
Yeah. Well, I haven't been scoring much, since I've been back, so I was happy to get back to scoring and helping the team to win. So.
Talk us through your hat-trick then, talk us through your 3 goals.
Well, the first one, scored just before half-time. Anthony back-heeled it, just through the defence, and I'd waited till the keeper went down, and then it chipped him. So, and then the second one was just Jack Kersey hit the ball over the keeper, and then I just tapped it in. And then the third one was a left foot, just one-on-one with the keeper. So yeah, I was happy with the goals. Yeah.
Some win that as well, to score 8 goals, keep a clean sheet away from home as well.
Yeah. Well, the red card helped. They got in the first 15, so they sort of stumbled from them. But we're happy with the 8-0. Yeah.
It's a big win at this time of the season as well, because there's only 2 games left in the regular league season, and of course we're going for the title. Yeah,
big time. Yeah, we're hoping to get first in this, first part of the season. We're hoping to finish ahead of City, so the goal difference will help. So it's good to get the goals in.
Snods, there's a story behind the story there with that game about the coaches. Yeah. It was Newcastle United 0, Everton 8, Dave Watson 0, John Ebrell 8.
You wouldn't have ever thought that, because Ebo never even scored 8 in his career, and Big Waggy used to pride himself on clean sheets. So I'm sure there were one disappointed ex-Evertonian up at Newcastle, Big Dave. But what a performance by the boys, and some good finishes there on view.
David Dunsworth likes this boy a lot, Shane Lavery.
Yeah, I've not seen him play. He looks baby-faced, small, Irish lad. They've always got a bit of fire in the belly, the Irish lads. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of him.
He's certainly got a spark about him as young Shane Lavery. Good luck to him. That brings us to the halfway stage in this week's programme. We'll show you a few adverts now, and then we'll feature an exclusive sit-down interview in part 3 with Steven Naismith. So don't go away. Part 3 of the Everton Show is our big interview slot when we feature former players speaking about all things Everton. And it doesn't matter how long they've actually been a former player. We recently featured Mike Pedgick, and he left Everton 37 years ago. This week we're bringing you Steven Naismith. He's only been gone 3 weeks. Naisy was back at Finch Farm last week to clear his locker, say his final goodbyes, and sit down with the Everton Show one last time to do, as they say, one for the road.
They're a very similar club in terms of very welcoming to everybody. Their squad's full of guys who are all pulling in the one direction, and obviously there's a lot of familiar faces down there, so it has been pretty easy to settle in, and then obviously in the first game to be involved, to get a goal, get off the marks, always nice.
Against Liverpool?
Yeah, it was very nice. In the build up to it, a lot of people were mentioning it, and I was kind of saying about my first goal for Everton being against Liverpool, and hopefully history repeats itself, and it did.
When you've played top level football for as long as you have, there's always going to be familiar faces at any football club, and that must be a help.
Yeah, I think no matter what age you are and how long you've been a professional, when you're going into a new surroundings, it can always be tough. Just to be yourself, if you like, and feel relaxed enough to do what you do best, and that's definitely helped me. The club showed a lot of faith in trying to get me, and they wanted to get me quite a lot, and then speaking to everybody I know, maybe about 15-20 people about Norwich, past players, past guys that have been there, and they all said great things. So the similarities to Everton are quite clear in what the beliefs are and how they should be running as a club, and that was a big attraction.
I know you're not a guy who's afraid to embrace new cultures, but Norwich, it's not Glasgow or Liverpool, is it? It's something totally different.
No, it's not. I think that's probably going to be the toughest side of it, that when I moved down to Everton, it was pretty similar. The people of Liverpool are very similar to back home, and it all happened very seamlessly. But like I said, there's a lot of familiar faces. So far when I've been there, I've been sending lots of texts out of where to go, where's good to go, and things like that. But over time, I'm sure I'll get used to it.
How big a wrench was it to leave, Steven?
It was really hard, I think. Everton, coming to Everton and having a slow start, and probably that first year the biggest thing for me was getting to know my teammates. That's probably the biggest thing I'll take from that, is that I've made friends for life within the squad, and everybody from Goodison to Finch Farm. It's amazing the amount of people and friends that I've made, and coming back in the day, even when I signed with Norwich, the amount of text messages I got and well wishes, and it wasn't just a simple good luck, it was there was a nice message in them all, and then coming back in the day, it's great that I've made friends for life, and I know when I come back to Everton in years to come that everybody it'll be great to see friends, if you like, and that's not again just the people I've got to know. It's the fans when I come back to Goodison and play, which is something I'm looking forward to do.
How pleasing is it for you as a professional footballer knowing you can come back to your former club, which you will do towards the end of the season with Norwich, and you're guaranteed a great reception from the supporters?
I think it'll be strange coming back for the first time. I found that in the past when I've been at other clubs going back. It's a strange feeling that you're the enemy, if you like, and into the away changing room and all the rest of it. But I'm sure throughout the day and when I look back, it'll be a great occasion for me, and one that I will really appreciate.
Just while we were waiting for you to come in here to do this very interview, all the staff, backroom staff, medical staff, kit staff, all the players, you were greeted like a long-lost brother. You must have done something right.
No, that makes you feel so good when you see these people, and it's just genuine smiles that come on your face, and it's great, and that's why since I moved, I've been looking forward to this day to come back in and meet every day and have a bit of a laugh and a joke. We've obviously spoke to a lot of the boys over the phone and text messages and stuff, but to come back in maybe one final time to be part of the boys is fantastic.
Was Everton Football Club everything that you thought it would be when you first arrived?
And more, so much more. I came down thinking I'm going to get a chance to play in the Premier League. The biggest things that struck me at the start were how great a club it was run-wise and the facilities, closely followed by the quality within the squad. I didn't realise it was as high as it was, and that took a bit of getting used to, but then when I look back in the last 2 years especially, I've been a main part of that squad, and I'd like to think that I've contributed not just on the part but off the part with the younger guys and keeping the morale in the squad great, and it's been every minute of it's been so enjoyable, and I'm fortunate that I've had the chance to play for Everton, and as they say, once a blue, always a blue. Great
line. Do you feel a better footballer now than the Steven Naismith that walked through the door when David Moyes brought you down from Scotland?
Again, 100%. The first year I learned so much from David Moyes and how professional he was, how well organised he was, and probably the first insight of the total modern football in terms of preparation, analysis, everything like that was up there so well. And then when the managers came in since is probably the most I've learned from any single manager. Just because the upbringing of a Spanish player to an English player is totally different, and I've learned the game in a whole new way. And that's something that definitely going forward that I'll take with me, and if I go into coaching or management or whatever, I'll definitely use a lot of what I've learned since I've been at Everton.
Highlights of your time at Everton?
I've not even thought about that.
Some big goals against some big teams, wasn't there?
There was. First goal for Everton, it's a derby, can't ask for better for that. Although my performances probably weren't at the top level, getting that goal was perfect. It probably bought me a bit more time, if being honest. And Chelsea hat-trick's another one, but there's so many. Getting to play with these amazing players and be part of this club is probably the biggest highlight.
When you scored your hat-trick against AK Athens, did you think to yourself, this is easy, this English football lot?
It was a bit surreal because coming back from a knee injury, and it was amazing, but then I thought, people are going to expect from me, and that maybe took a wee bit of getting used to, but hopefully over the piece people are happy with my contribution.
Just finally, back to yourself, Stephen. Logistically, it's a little bit of a nightmare, isn't it, from the northwest down to Norwich? You can't just take a removal van round the corner, can you? What's in store for you personally?
No, it'll take a bit of time to find the right place to stay, and I think that's very important with your family and stuff. So once we've done that, we'll get sorted and have that as a base. But I think football's a short career, and it's not that far away. You just need to change the way you commute and the way you do things. If I had a few days off and I was going back to Scotland at Everton, I'd just drive up the road, where it's not as simple as that. It's more getting a flight and things like that, but it's a short career, and it's a small compromise that I can make.
Regardless of age and experience, there are always a few nerves when you join a new football club.
Yeah, there is. Especially, I think this is probably the first time that I felt there's a bit of expectation on me. As I'm coming to a club who's fighting relegation, and I've came from a higher team, and a bit's expected of me, so that's why the performance against Liverpool's nice to get going. So you have the kind of nerves, but I'm confident that I can contribute and do well like I have done everywhere else I've been.
Snods, you and I are involved in the football club. We see the players from time to time. Players come, players go, but Steven Naismith will be missed.
He certainly will, and I love that saying that he said, once a blue, always a blue. It's a fantastic saying. But yeah, he's a great lad, and you can always tell if you're well liked as a player and as a person, because he will come back with Norwich. He'll get a fantastic reception of our supporters for the contribution he's made since he arrived at Goodison, and he said every player, coaching staff came to greet him when he came back. So you know you're well liked as a person and as a player. And he is a top lad, Steven Naismith.
It was terrific at Finch Farm. The staff were literally queuing up to shake his hand, give him a hug and wish him well.
Well, that's why, and then that's when you think, I couldn't have done any more as a player at Everton Football Club, because I'm well liked amongst the staff. The fans, all right, it took them a little bit to get used to Steven, because he weren't playing, to be fair, great, but he weren't playing in his right position as well when he first came down. But I tell you what, he soon won him over with his work rate, his attitude, and just being Steven Naismith.
And his goals, when you consider Steven Naismith came from Scotland, the football in Scotland is not the best, let's be honest. He scored goals against Liverpool, Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea. Very much a big game player.
Yeah, he played for a top club side in Glasgow Rangers. He really did, and he's an international player. And playing in the Premier League is always difficult, but Steven scored some terrific goals against, as you say, top-class opposition in the Premier League. And yeah, he will be missed at Everton, and I wish him every success, but not on the last game of the season.
We all wish him well.
Yeah.
Norwich do come to Goodison on the last game. I worry about Norwich City when I look at the league table and I look at their form.
Yeah, because they started off all right, and I think they play some good football, but yeah, it has been a little bit worrying recently. They've found themselves in the bottom three as well, so hopefully Steven can get them out of that position, and hopefully if they do come to Goodison, for Steven's sake, they're not in the bottom three, because I wouldn't like to think we've sent Steven Naismith down.
Our last away game of the season is Leicester City. Will we be playing the Premier League champions?
I wouldn't have said that even 2 weeks ago, but after their impressive victory at Manchester City, and well-deserved victory as well, they've got a big game against Arsenal over the weekend. If they win that, I think we could be playing the champions. And how silly did that sound at the beginning of the season? 5,000 to 1 outsiders, and now the 7-4 favourites, I think, to win the league. If they beat Arsenal, they'll go down to even money.
That brings a pressure of its own, doesn't it? The expectation has not been on Leicester because nobody's really taken them seriously. They beat Arsenal, as you say, they are clear favourites. They could be 6, 7, 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Then the pressure's on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think even looking at it probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think the players would have gone in training and saying, hey, we will finish in the top 4, we've got Europe. But I think after they beat Man City, they start to whisper and around the dressing room was, hey, we can win this. And they can win it. The confidence will be absolutely sky high. But Ranieri's a manager who will keep the feet on the ground. Some lads are sensible lads, so let's see how far they can go.
We'll be right in the thick of it, won't we? Leicester away, Norwich at home, last 2 games of the season. And by the way, next week's big interview is an exclusive with Nigel Martin, who was at Finch Farm earlier this week. Right, we're 3/4 of the way through this week's show. It's time for another quick breather before the 4th and final segment, when we start the countdown to the weekend Premier League game with West Bromwich Albion. Welcome back to the 4th and final part of this week's Everton Show. Well, I mentioned earlier, didn't I, that it's been a good week for goals at every level for Everton Football Club, and the ladies certainly didn't miss out. The girls started their FA Cup campaign against Stoke City at Widnes last weekend and breezed through with a 7-0 scoreline.
Obviously absolutely delighted. I think this game was always going to be one where potential banana skin, I suppose, you know, with Stoke being in season and obviously ourselves only really being a month into the programme. But, you know, I think we've set a really good tone in training, and that's what I asked the girls. I said, you know, we're not going to be perfect in our essentially third game of the pre-season period, but what we'd like to see is a lot of the things that, you know, the girls have worked so hard on in training, and I think we saw a lot of those good qualities, particularly second half when we start to get our football flowing and the touches and the movement become a little bit more dynamic and a little bit sharper. Then some of the goals, you know, I've certainly enjoyed watching them back, and, you know, and the players will do as well.
There's goals everywhere, Snods, isn't there? Even the ladies are rattling them in 7-0 against Stoke in the FA Cup.
It's absolutely great. Great start for the Everton ladies. And yeah, ladies football is on the up. There's a lot of international players now in the Premier League. So hopefully the girls can can win the league, get back in the main league. But anybody wearing that Everton kit should be being supported. So I know a couple of games I will go down to Widnes and watch them, so all the best, ladies.
Go along there and give them your support. The Men's FA Cup, we'll just get one game ahead of ourselves. We'll speak about West Brom shortly, but the Men's FA Cup next weekend, Bournemouth. The draw could have been better, but could have been worse.
Yeah, when you looked at who were left in the I think there were 4 balls left, and I'm thinking, well, this could be difficult. I think we've got the best tie we possibly could have had out of the 4 balls that were remaining. Not that it's going to be easy, but I just think of the league game down there, we should have won it. We should have won it. I'm not having to go at anybody celebrating the goal because I'd have done exactly the same. But a lesson to be learned there. But I think we can go down there and I think we can beat Bournemouth. Not a replay, not penalties or anything at Goodison. I think we can go and beat them down at Bournemouth.
The semi-final Capital One Cup defeat will inspire the lads, I would think.
Yeah, to be so close to Wembley, it's the greatest feeling ever to go to Wembley. So I'm sure the FA Cup is big on the agenda of the boys.
Absolutely. Right, let's look ahead now to the visit of West Bromwich Albion on Saturday. They're an opponent that Romelu Lukaku knows very well, of course. The big man is still a very popular figure at the Hawthorns, and this week he was at Longmoor Community School in Aintree as part of an event put together by Kick It Out, the organisation that campaigns tirelessly to rid the sport of any form of discrimination. Big Rom told us a bit more about that and, of course, about matters on the pitch as well.
Kick It Out ambassador Romelu Lukaku went back to school as he visited Year 6 pupils at Longmoor Community Primary School. The Blue Striker was on hand to help teach the children about equality and diversity alongside Kick It Out staff and Everton in the community. Kicking off with a question and answer session, Lukaku was quizzed by the children on a variety of topics, including his heritage, family history and his work with the anti-racism charity. The pupils were then given a talk by former Charlton Athletic midfielder Paul Mortimer on the charity and what to do when they encounter racism. Following the discussion, Lukaku joined in making posters with the children on what they had learned from the workshop, the results of which he posted on his Instagram account.
I think it's important to teach the kids about different heritages and about discrimination as well. And I think they got the message really clearly, and they had fun as well, so it's all good.
While at the school, Romelu spoke to Everton TV about Saturday's Premier League meeting with West Bromwich Albion, a club he has fond memories of following a loan spell in the 2012-13 campaign.
I had a good year there. I had a lot of fun with the fans and with the players over there, so it's good to play against them again.
You also scored one of your favourite goals against them, if I remember, a right foot curler, edge of the box.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good goal. It was my first goal of the season last year. So it was a nice goal.
You hit your 20th of the season against Stoke. Was that the objective all along this season?
Well, I knew I knew fairly quickly that we would hit 20 very fast. But now I'm here, so now I just want to look forward now again.
So what is the objective for the rest of the season for you personally?
Never tell. I never tell.
Of course, only one of those is a penalty, I believe. So that reflects well, considering you got 20 last season as well. So does the type of goal matter?
A goal is a goal to me. I mean, tap-ins for me are as important as a penalty kick. So to me, a goal is a goal to me. So I just want to find a way to score a goal every single game.
Of course, your teammates helping you get into 20 goals.
Yeah, of course. I get lots of good deliveries as well. So I think my teammates can count on me to put the ball in the back of the net, and we have a good chemistry in the team, and that's really good. Yeah.
Still a young man, Snod, still learning his craft, but 20 goals before the middle of February.
Brilliant. There's no reason why he can't go on and get 30. The form is in, the chances that he creates himself, and he's getting creative for him as well. So, there's no reason why the big fella can't get 30 this season.
He'll think that himself as well, won't he? He won't say it publicly because strikers never do, but he's on 20 now. He'll look at the games we've got left and he must think to himself, I could get 30 goals here.
definitely. As I say, he's proud about his scoring record, and as he said in his interview, he's not bothered how they come. If they come off his backside, if it's a penalty, a goal's a goal, he said, and it certainly is. And yeah, I hope he does reach that 30 mark.
I hope he scores against West Brom at the weekend, and if he does, I hope he celebrates. He showed the respect to the fans now. He was well liked down there. He didn't celebrate at the Hawthorns, but if you score for Everton at Goodison, you've got to go berserk, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to have a word with him and say, Rom, you were only on loan, mate, at West Brom. But I know we'll be celebrating, Daz, in the commentary box if he does score. But if he scores the last minute and it's a winner in the Gladys Street end, believe me, he will celebrate.
Do you expect us to win?
Yeah, I do. I think West Brom, it'd be a difficult game because they'll sit back. Tony Pulis, his sides are organised. They're very difficult to beat. And I think he'll come with a draw in mind, but hopefully an early goal will sort that problem.
Absolutely. Well, our win at the Baggies earlier in the season, of course, was a comeback of epic proportions. 2-0 down to win 3-2 will live long in the memory. We'd like to think that we can get the business done in a slightly less dramatic and nerve-wracking manner this weekend, but Roberto Martinez is fully expecting another close encounter.
We all know Tony Pulis' sides, they're always competitive, they're always really well organised defensively, they got a clear structure and they're capable of getting a result against anyone because they got a goal-scoring threat from many different ways. I just feel that there is a reaction in this team. I think their performance in the first half against Newcastle is gonna spark a reaction. And we know that we'll have to be at our very, very best. But in the same way, we're in a confident moment. We're looking forward to be at Goodison. We're looking forward to carry on with the standards that we showed in the last 3 games. And we got only 6 games left at Goodison, and we want to take advantage of that and make the best out of it. And we know that if it's an area that this season we can improve is the results that we had at home, not the way that we played or the level of performances. I think we've done many good things in disappointing results, and it's making sure now that they found the way that the performance becomes a complete performance, and he ends up with a win at the end of those games. And we're looking forward to be able to turn that round and create a very good home record in the final 6 games of the season.
Snods, do you agree with the assessment that West Bromwich Albion are perhaps there for the taking this weekend?
Yeah, I do. I watched the game the other day, and the FA Cup game. All right, they did have a few changes, but I thought Peterborough played very well and showed that they have got 1 or 2 problems at the minute, West Bromwich Albion, but I expect a couple of players to come back into that team. But I just think we're playing with confidence. Perhaps they're not at the minute. And the early start, as I mentioned before, Daz, if we get a bright start, score early, West Brom have got to come out against us, and then I think we can counter-attack them as well and score more.
They're closer to the relegation zone than they are to the European spot, so Tony Pulis will be aware that West Brom have got to stop losing football matches.
Yeah, they have. He'll realise that as well. He wears his heart on his sleeve. On that touchline, he encourages, but he barks out instructions as well. So he'll be determined, and so will his players on Saturday. But as I said, we're playing with confidence. We're scoring goals. I expect us to win at Goodison Park, which it's not been great this season. No. It's been difficult at times, and they will set up. They'll be solid. They'll probably play 1 up the front and get five midfield players behind the ball and the 4 defenders. So it will be difficult, but early goal, as I say, sorts that problem out.
We're approaching the real business end of the season now, aren't we? When you take scrappy last-minute 1-0 wins, as long as you get the win.
Yeah, you're in a results business, and if we can get probably 6, we've got 6 at home. If we can win all them at home, which will be difficult, but if you can win, I tell you what, Europe, you start looking, the top 4 is out of place, but 5 and 6 isn't.
European football next season, wouldn't that be nice? And that's just about it for this week's Everton Show. As I indicated at the very top of the programme, there's much to be excited about just now for Evertonians. The platform is certainly in place for a strong push for European qualification. And the FA Cup too, don't forget. My thanks to Snods for joining us this week. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We certainly have, and I'm sure we'll enjoy next week's as well. We'll see you then.